Good morning, good morning, good morning. Welcome to the Black Financial Channel. My name is Dr. Boyce Watkins, and today we're going to talk about Elon Musk. Elon just did something interesting, and he actually voted himself out as Twitter CEO, or he let people vote him out. And I'm going to talk about that and kind of give you the real deal on what I think was really going on with this. But I'm also going to ask a really important question. What if Elon Musk was a black woman? How would that play out? I think that's an interesting conversation. So get comfortable as you come in, hit the thumbs up button, buckle up seatbelt. We're going to get started on the Black Financial Channel right now. Welcome to the Black Financial Channel. That's theblackfinancialchannel.com. My name is Dr. Boyce Watkins. I am your friendly neighborhood finance professor. On the Black Financial Channel, we talk about black wealth and black economics every single day, sometimes as much as 10 times a day under one key condition. The condition is that we're black first, and there's nothing wrong with being black first. There's nothing wrong with loving yourself. It doesn't mean you have to be black to be here. We love everybody, but at the same time, we are here to take care of our community. We are here to educate our kids. We are here to make intelligent black people the most financially brilliant people on the entire planet. If you agree with this agenda, that is my agenda. Hollywood has an agenda. The Democratic Party has an agenda. And this is the B1 agenda. If you agree with the B1 agenda, put a B1 in the chat. Also, let me know what city you're from. Daryl Lee is out of St. Louis. Rashad out of Baltimore. Roland Curtis says Tesla stock went up. Yes, it did. And I'm going to tell you why I made some money from it. Now I'm going to break down a little bit about that in a second. Duran says, I listen to you daily, Doc. Well, I appreciate you, man. Thank you so much. And also I saw a very nice comment. Yoshika said, I have an alert so I can see you as you come on. And I appreciate you, Yoshika. Thank you so much. It's people like you that keep me going. Jared Rivers from Chicago. Jafet from Harlem. Who else do I see up in here? I see Michael from Philly. I see Janie from Pompano Beach. I wish I was in Pompano Beach. That would be a nice place to be. I'm in the cold right now. Lawrenceville, Georgia for Gary and Jacob. I see you in here, Jacob, as well. Jacoby out of New Orleans. Or Narlands, as we should call it. Anyway, so let me ask you all a question. Give me a yes or no in the chat. How many of you have been following Elon Musk, and how many of you know about Elon Musk's and his recent antics, probably for publicity? You know, he's good at maintaining publicity. How many of you, give me a yes or no, how many of you have been following Elon Musk and his decision to basically put up a poll? Elon Musk put up a poll to see if he wanted to, or if people wanted him to remain as the CEO of Twitter. How many of you saw that? Give me a yes in the chat if you saw that. So, okay, Black didn't see it, but Jared did. Okay, all right. So here's the deal. All right, so basically Elon Musk created this poll, and he basically asked, I don't remember the specific question, but it was basically like, you know, should I remain as the CEO of Twitter? Like, real simple question. And he was voted out of office. He was voted out. 57%, 57.5%, I believe that was the last number I saw, voted him out. About 48% or 40, whatever, 50, 43, I guess. Well, that would be 100%, right? So the rest of the voters voted him in, but it wasn't enough. He said he's going to abide by the results of the poll. And so that means he's stepping down as the CEO of Twitter. Okay. I get that. That makes perfect sense. Of course, you know, he should follow the poll. And it's interesting, right? It's interesting to see the media spin on this. And so I saw one headline that said Elon Musk fails his own popularity contest. And, you know, of course, people were rejoicing to say, ha, 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 you got suckered, you got fooled. You know, you put that poll out there. Now you got to step down. But did he get fooled, really, though? Like, did he really get fooled? I want to ask y'all a question. How many of you, give me a yes or no, how many of y'all think Elon Musk knew the results of the poll before he even put the poll out there? How many of y'all think, Elon is not a stupid guy. You know, he's building rocket ships to Mars. He's built these electric cars that are years ahead of their time. He has been able to become the richest man on the planet until last week, until he was supplanted by Bernard Arnault, but he's still very wealthy. He was able to buy Twitter just to make a point, just to prove political. How many of y'all think, give me a yes if you think Elon kind of knew what was going to happen before he put the poll out there? I'm going to raise my hand because I believe that he knew that he was going to get voted out, and he wanted to be voted out. I don't think he wanted to be the CEO of Twitter because he's got things to do, and also because it really doesn't matter if he's the CEO or not. Let me ask y'all a question. Who owns Twitter? Who's the owner of Twitter? Can anybody answer that question for me, boys and girls? Boys and girls, how many of y'all, Who owns Twitter? Who is the owner? Forget who's the CEO. The CEO is appointed by the owner. When the company's publicly traded, the shareholders via the board of directors, they appoint the CEO. So the owners have more power than the CEO anyway. So who is the owner of Twitter? Who's the big boss over at Twitter? No matter who the CEO, Mickey Mouse could be named the CEO tomorrow, but who really is going to be running this thing for real, for real? Seriously. It's going to be Elon Musk. Elon Musk owns Twitter because he bought the damn thing. So if I tell you, hey, I decided to remove myself as the CEO of Boyce Watkins Enterprises, do you think that really means that I'm really removing myself from power? What business school did these fools go to think that Elon Musk no longer gets to run Twitter anymore? All Elon Musk is going to be doing now is picking up the phone and calling the CEO and telling the CEO what to do. If you're the manager of the Burger King, that don't mean you own the damn Burger King. You're not an owner of a restaurant. You're the manager. The owner gave you the keys, and the owner can take those keys away. And sometimes we get it twisted. Sometimes we think that being the manager means you're like the owner, and we get caught up in that. You ever see that where Nico get a fancy job and he's like the head of produce at Kroger or something. He really act like he running stuff like this is his thing, and this is don't be putting my carrots next to my tomatoes, right? They start using possessive terminology until that day they get fired, and then they lose their whole identity. They don't know what to do because you thought you were the owner, but you're not the owner. The nanny will never be the mother, no matter how many hours she spends babysitting the child. Do you understand? And this is important for you to understand as an economic lesson, because Black people for hundreds of years, we've been trained to be the economic nannies for white people. We've been trained to be the manager, but never the owner. We've been trained to be the person in charge, but not really the person in charge, right? That goes back to the plantation. The massa used to let Black women run the whole damn house, but that don't mean she owned the house. So ultimately, I don't really see what the big deal is. Elon Musk removing himself as the CEO of Twitter means nothing because he owns it. And why do I make this point? I'm going to explain why I make this point. Before I do that, if everybody could take a minute, please hit the thumbs up button, thumbs up, share, subscribe. And I have to make sure I mention to you guys, I have a new book out called The 10 Commandments of Black Economic Power. It is designed to give you simple rules to get your family on code so you can get real wealth and real power and real freedom in America. This is what the book is designed for. I put my whole elbow in it. This is all my PhD laid out to create a simple framework specifically for our people on how you can become economically powerful within a generation. So you can find a copy on Amazon. I think they sold out on my website. I would send you to our website, but they sold out there, unless you want to do a pre-order or something like that. But anyway, you can either go to Amazon or just go to my website, boycewatkins.com. You can find it there. Okay, guys. So anyway, Gary says I ordered it this weekend. Thank you. And by the way, if you do read it, please leave a review. So far, I'm very happy. It's gotten 5-star reviews all the way across, 100% 5-star reviews. So that makes me excited. And I'm going to actually do a book tour and a deep dive training on this book. When I go city to city, I'm going to go to about 8 different cities, and I'll let you guys know what cities I'm going to come to, because this is real stuff. The answers are out there. You just got to learn it from the right sources. You're not being trained in this society to have power. You're being trained in this society to play your position and to play your role. People have you've been typecast as Black people. It's just like if you are Gary Coleman and you try to go and do an action, play a role as an action hero. They're not going to let Gary Coleman or Kevin Hart be an action hero. They're going to be like, no, you're the comedian. You play the comedian, and then The Rock gets to be the action hero. The white guy gets to, or the racially ambiguous guy gets to be the action hero, not you. So ultimately, I want you to break out of your typecast, break out of the shell that they created for you, and learn who you really are. You're meant to be the king of this thing. Some of y'all are meant to be the queen of this thing. So stop letting people convince you that you're meant to be a secondary scrub, or you're meant to just take orders from people. That's not real. That's not your destiny. Okay. All right. So anyway, so here's the thing. So I saw this post by a lady that I admire a lot. Her name is Lynette Calfani Cox. She's a very consistent social media person when it comes to financial stuff. And I've always followed Lynette for years, and I think Lynette's good at what she does. And she put something on Twitter that I want to kind of discuss for a second. And it was a very powerful statement and very intelligent. You know, she's a smart lady. And here's what she said. And I'm gonna kind of lay out some of this, and I'm gonna challenge it a little bit. She said, "Could anyone besides a white male billionaire like Elon Musk even think about running a major publicly traded business on the basis of a poll? The Twitter CEO is called eccentric, a maverick, a genius, etc. But if a woman did this, she'd be irrational and promptly fired." Right? Now here's the thing. Now let's just start from the beginning. If you went on your job and you were acting like Elon Musk, if you were getting in the middle of controversy, kind of saying whatever you want to say, getting jiggy with it and getting in fights with people constantly, would you be in trouble? Would you get fired from your job immediately? Give me a yes or no if you feel like you'd be fired. Like if you was working at UPS or Taco Bell or or at Arby's or something. Like how many of you understand? Like yes, you would get fired. You know, when I was at Syracuse University and I was on the faculty there, I was a maverick. I was eccentric. I went hard in the paint. I was very racial, and they fired me. They pretty much were like, "Get the hell up out of here, Negro. We don't want you around." And it was a blow. You know, I was trained by some of the best people in the world, people like Renee Stoltz, who's at the top of his field, and others. And I thought, I was like, I can't be fired. I'm too good. I'm not black. I'm OJ, right? I thought I was, the Heisman Trophy winner as far as finance PhDs go. But they fired me. They let me go because I was getting out of pocket. I was running my mouth. I was fighting the university. You can't be in another man's house and fight the owner of the house. So what I realized is I said, hey, wait a minute. Maybe instead of trying to exist inside someone else's house, maybe I can build my own house. So that was when I created Boyce Watkins Enterprises. And that's it. And I said, my PhD goes with me wherever I go. I've got black people out here that can use the benefits of this doctorate because I know all this financial stuff. Maybe I can go work with my people and build something that is ours. Maybe I can engage in the really, truly sacred, truly special, truly important act of black institution building, right? Which was pulling me to a more important purpose anyway, right? Because before I was building Syracuse, I was building the reputation of Syracuse. People were coming and sending their kids to Syracuse and spending hundreds of thousands of dollars to send their black kids to Syracuse because I was at Syracuse. And let me tell y'all a secret. I wasn't getting none of that money. I got paid, I got a salary, but when a black parent decided, hey, I want my child to be at the university that Dr. Boyce Watkins teaches at, they weren't sending me a commission check. They weren't sending me a bonus every year for the number of black kids that wanted to come to this school. They didn't say, hey, we want to give you an 8-year, $5 million contract because you're bringing so many black kids to this school and every single one of them is going $100,000 in debt just so they can come learn from you. They didn't give me none of that. That wasn't mine. Why? Well, because it was their house. It was their house. So I was building the master's house. And so getting fired, see, sometimes you think getting fired is a bad thing, but sometimes God needs you to get fired so you'll stop thinking like a scrub. Right? Sometimes the universe puts you in the fire and gets you kicked out of your situation so you can go create a better situation. Sometimes you get booted out of a bad relationship, a toxic relationship, because there's a healthy relationship out there for you. So give me a yes in the chat if you understand what I'm saying. Give me a yes if you've ever gone through that, where maybe something that seemed like your worst nightmare actually opened the door for you to live a much better life and to live a dream. So this goes back to Lynette Calfani Cox's point. She's right. Any black person, any black woman, if you go out on your job, even if you're the CEO, and you go in there saying, well, I'm going to be the black female Elon Musk. I'm going to act an ass. I'm going to piss off half the universe and say whatever the hell's on my mind. Yeah, you're going to get fired. You're not going to have that job for very long. That is 100% true. But understand, Elon Musk is speaking in a language that we weren't trained as children. He's speaking a language called boss language. He's talking as the boss. He's not talking as the employee. Y'all getting it twisted. Elon Musk is not anybody's employee. Elon Musk made himself the CEO, and so he giveth and he can taketh that away. And because he's the owner of the company, he's always going to have a say in how Twitter is run, and he will always have the final say. The buck will always stop with him. So just make sure you understand the difference between being a high-paid servant, which is really what you are. If you're a manager of a company, that you are a servant, you may just be high paid, but you're a high paid servant. Even NFL players and NBA players are high paid servants versus being the owner, the equity owner of the institution that you are choosing to serve. Those are two completely different roles, two completely different mindsets, two completely different cultures. Go, if you want to see another example, go look at Chick-fil-A. Look at Chick-fil-A. You think they give a damn about people trying to cancel them? You think they care? Chick-fil-A is a privately run company. They're like, as long as we make good chicken sandwiches, half the country is going to come eat here, and the other half is going to sneak and eat here without telling their friends. And they don't give a damn. They're like, we're going to stay closed on Sundays because this is what we believe. And we're also not going to go along with a liberal agenda because we're not liberals. Right? It's okay to not be a liberal. It's okay to not be a conservative. Chick-fil-A don't care because Chick-fil-A's bosses don't have a boss. That's what freedom kind of looks like. And I want y'all to understand what it looks like so you know how to give it to your kids. You know, so when I looked at Lynette's comment, and I'm gonna say this, I really admire Lynette. I think she's very smart. But, you know, and I get it. Racism is real. Racism is racism is out there. Sexism is out there. All those things are out there. But the reality, though, is that the more you move into that ownership space, the less racism and sexism really just become absolute dream killers. It doesn't mean that they don't exist within a certain context. You know, it's for example, what's one area where Elon's white privilege might have played a part? Well, remember, without Elon could never have started Tesla or any of his companies if he wasn't able to go to a bank and get a multi-billion-dollar loan to get his business going. A lot of you right now, if somebody loaned you $1 billion, you would be able to go start the greatest company in the world, but no one will loan you that money. It could be partly because you're black, and it could also partly be because your family just doesn't have that kind of wealth or that kind of capital base. I do know black people who've been able to go to the bank and get massive loans, but most of us can't do that, right? So that's where white male privilege can play a part, without a doubt. But you know, this idea that we want to sort of reduce our existence to whatever white people think about us. I challenge that. I want you to kind of challenge that, because the other point that she made that I thought was really interesting, because I thought about these issues very deeply. I wrote a book years ago called "What If George Bush Were a Black Man?" And basically, I went through George Bush's life and I analyzed what would have happened to him if he were a black man. And the conclusion is that if George Bush were a black man, he probably would be dead or in jail, because he's made a lot of bad choices. He's not that smart. He doesn't work very hard. For black men, the margin of error is very, very thin. And that's just the reality that we end up having to live with. But then when you go deeper into this, when I looked at the comment and she said, if a black woman were to do what Elon Musk did, she would be seen as irrational. She would be seen as crazy. She would be fired, etc. The other thing that I thought about was, I said, yeah, well, there are probably people. Give me a yes or no. And I'm going to ask you all a question. Does everybody like Elon Musk? Give me a yes or no. Does everyone think that everything Elon does is wonderful and great? Like, do they just does the whole country uniformly stand behind every act of Elon Musk? Does Elon Musk, does he have nothing? Is everyone his friend? Is everybody, saying, oh my God, that's so brilliant. Brilliant, Elon, brilliant. Way to go. Oh my God, he did it again. He's amazing. When I go look at CNN, are they calling him brilliant? Is MSNBC saying that they love him? Right? Give me a yes or no. Okay. Why do I ask that question? Well, I ask that question because, let's be clear, half the country hates Elon Musk. Half the country can't stand this dude. Right. So this idea that you have to make everybody happy is wrong. You don't focus on the people who hate you. Focus on the people who love you. Everybody doesn't love me. I would dare to say that the majority of white people, when I was writing articles at the University of Kentucky when I was 25 years old, the 90% of the white students could not stand me. They thought I was a race baiter and, and a racist and an angry black man or whatever. Every label on earth, they gave it to me. But I didn't give a damn because number one, I create my own labels. And number two, I had a big, gigantic population of black people who loved the hell out of what I was doing. You don't spend your time making your enemies try to like you, because then you're gonna be wasting your whole damn life. They ain't never gonna like your ass. You could walk, like somebody said, you could walk on water and your haters are gonna say, well, it's only because that Negro can't swim. The only reason he walking on water is because he can't swim. If he was in the water, he'd be drowning. That's why he got to walk on it. Seriously, that's literally what will happen. So you don't spend your life trying to make your adversaries love you. At best, you can make them respect your presence. And as much as the Elon Musk enemies dislike him, they acknowledge him every time his name comes out of their mouth. There is power in the tongue. And every time they say the name Elon Musk, they don't realize that they're giving him power. They're giving him validation. They're acknowledging his existence, and then acknowledging that what he's doing is having an impact. And that's just what it is. That's just the truth. So sometimes even your haters actually are your elevators. Your haters are your promoters. They could be sometimes your haters can be your biggest promoters out here. I've been promoted by many haters. I've had people do videos about how much they hate Boyce Watkins, and the video got 250,000 views. And I'm like, wow, I don't watch the videos. I don't care what you think, but I'm like, wow, thank you for the free marketing. I appreciate that. So at the end of the day, you know, I don't think you should spend time thinking about what your enemies are thinking about you. And this is important for black people to understand, because you got a lot of enemies. You got a lot of people that don't want to see you do well. You have a lot of people. I mean, I'm not convinced that white America as a collective is very concerned about us, nor do I think that they like us very much. I'm not saying that they're all bad people. I'm not saying white people are all evil. I don't believe that. I know plenty of white people that are fine. I'm just saying in general, I don't think that this policy, it came from integration, this policy that we bought into, that somehow being liked and validated by our oppressors is our pathway to success. I don't like that. Like people will say to me, they'll say, oh, well, you know, every time we try to do something, they always talking bad. They always say that we too radical and we do this and we do that. And I'm like, well, who cares what they think? Why in the world are you evaluating your self-worth on what your oppressor has to say about you? Chances are your oppressor will never say good things about you. And in fact, if he starts saying too many good things about you, you better watch out, because it probably means you've been turned into a servant, right? You've been turned into a slave. If the Democratic Party is saying too many good things about your black butt, chances are that means you're not being a great black man. You're being a very good Democrat. If the Republican Party talks about how much they love Herschel Walker, it's not because they think he's a great black man. They like Herschel Walker because he's a great Republican. Understand? And that there's nothing sinister about that. It's just a reality. So the question is, can you distinguish between a great black man and a great black woman versus a black man or black woman who's simply been validated by external entities that don't really care much about the black community? You have rappers out here that literally do nothing but promote all the ideas that will destroy you and destroy your children and put your life in danger. But you will celebrate these individuals because they were on the radio, because they go in front of a crowd full of white people, call themselves the N-word, and everybody cheers and loves it and gives them money to do it. And you'll say, well, that's a successful black man right there. Well, what in the world makes this man successful? Is it the fact that he's a drug addict at the age of 22? No. Oh, well, what makes him successful? Is it the fact that he's so illiterate he can't even spell his mama's name and he's promoting ignorance to your kids? No. Well, what makes him successful? Is it the fact that he disrespects your women like nobody's business? Every black woman is a B and a H. Well, what is it that makes you respect him? That he blew all his daughter's wealth on Gucci and Louis and Hennessy? Like, what makes you respect him? Is it the fact that he's addicted to Molly's and Percocets? Like what makes him a great black man, other than the fact that he A, has a lot of money, and B, he's been validated by your oppressor who you look up to too? Just be clear. Black people, we are the greatest white supremacists on the planet. Without our constantly honoring and validating what other people are doing, they wouldn't really have a lot of power. Louis Vuitton. Bernard Arnault is the richest man on the planet because he owns at least 4 brands. He owns several different brands. 4 of the brands he owns are Louis Vuitton, Hennessy, and Moet. Sorry, that's three of the brands. I'm sorry. Louis Vuitton, Hennessy, and Moet, 3 of which Black people absolutely love, that rappers love to promote, that we've actually put on the map in a multitude of ways. So just understand that your admiration for other people really does make those other people very rich, very powerful, and very successful. So anyway, do me a favor, hit the thumbs up button, thumbs up, share, subscribe if you haven't done it yet. In case you don't know, in the Black Business School, where we've actually successfully trained 10 million or more of our people on how to buy their first share of stock and how to buy real estate, things like that, we've just created the Black Financial Therapy Department, where we're working with leading Black financial experts and leading Black therapists to understand the psychological barriers that keep us from building Black wealth. A lot of wealth that starts in the brain. It starts with how you're trained. It starts with your culture. So we are deep diving into Black culture to understand where the wealth lies. So that's something we've been doing. I've been working on this with my beautiful wife, and we really enjoy this. And in case you don't know, and some of y'all heard this 1,000 times, but I'm gonna keep on bragging on my wife forever because I just love this lady. She is a full professor of social work, a licensed therapist, a certified clinical trauma professional, and an expert on things like addiction and suicide, which we have been heavy conversations in the Black community. So feel free, if you go to boycewatkins.com, you can learn more about what we're doing there. And also don't forget, this podcast is on Spotify, Apple, or anywhere else you can find podcasts. Now let's talk about, let's go back to Elon Musk real quick. Let's finish up on the financial tip. So Elon is no longer going to be the CEO of Twitter, according to his poll. I think that's good. I'm a Tesla shareholder. A lot of Tesla shareholders have expressed concern about Elon spreading himself too thin. As a result, if you look at Tesla stock today, from when I saw it this morning, it went up. Let me see if it's still up. But as of this morning, Tesla stock had gone up about 3%. Let me see. Well, it looks like it's down now. It looks like it's down. I guess whatever the gains were, they kind of disappeared. I don't know why. So I'd be curious to see what's going on there. But either way, though, a lot of Tesla shareholders are concerned that Elon was spreading himself too thin. I was one of those people. In fact, I did a video yesterday. If you go to drboycetv.com, you can see that video where I was explaining 3 reasons why I'm actually going to start shorting Tesla stock. I'm gonna buy some put options, stuff like that. I'm actually kind of done with Tesla. And also, last but not least, I want to congratulate. I don't know if any of you are in the Prime program, but there was a stock I sent out to you guys last week. Madrigal Pharmaceuticals, and I don't know if you guys saw it this morning. The ticker symbol is MDGL, and this stock went insane. And I knew it. I mentioned to you guys in class that this stock, pharmaceutical companies have a lot of what is called jump risk. That means they can jump way up or way down based on the results of clinical trials. Well, this morning, I looked at that stock, and that stock literally last night went up 231.65%. So it literally went from $65 overnight or over the weekend to $211.60. So congratulations to those of you that went ahead and bought into that stock. I know I bought some, and my wife gave me she gave me a couple extra kisses because I made some money for the family. So if you'd like to join the Prime program, we're solely focused on generating consistent income through selling stock options, and I take you through the whole process of showing you which stocks I'm selling options on, how to buy them, what to look out for, how to design your portfolio in a way that protects you from the downside but gives you access to the upside. So if you're looking for ways to use your stock portfolio to generate income, particularly in a declining market, the Prime program is good for that. So feel free to join us at drboyceprime.com. The URL is right there on the screen, and that's I'll keep sending you guys the stocks that I invest in and stuff like that. So anyway, guys, take care. I hope you guys have a wonderful day. God bless you. Thank you for listening, and I will see you soon. Be good. Peace.